What up, YouTube? It's Terrence C. So, I've been sitting watching Game of Thrones again. For those who don't know, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Huge Game of Thrones fan. Some of my closest friends, stuff they know. And thinking about this whole spinoff thing they got going. Now, as of January, they've been talking to George R. R. Martin and some of the execs at HBO, and trying to get information. And the latest information, for those who don't know, most of you Game of Thrones enthusiasts already know. I know that. I'm late. I just wanted to speak about it. But so they were saying at least before a year after season eight's over, before they're gonna do the spinoff. Like they might start shooting it sometime next year, so on and so forth. But they're not gonna release anything until the year after. So as you know, we all been waiting. 2017 is when season 7 ended. We were all on pins and needles, standing on our toes, edge of our seats, and joy, excitement, a little frustration, anger, so on and so forth. All the usual things that you go through when you really like that show. Or I must say, if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend it. Very good show. Gives you a little bit of everything. But as you know, we gotta wait till 2019. Pretty much 2 years. It's almost a year gone by, and I'm still like, oh man. I still watch people's reactions. I still go back and watch the season myself from time to time. It's crazy. But so they've been saying a year after that, so 2020, which is 2 years from now, which seems like forever. But at the same time, you know, it'll get here and then we'll see. Now they got a bunch of topics of what to spin off. Like they got a bunch of writers writing on different topics of what the show is going to be. And as of January, everybody thought it was four. George R. R. Martin actually said there are five different time periods, subjects that they're working on. Of course, a lot of people, me included, wanted to see Robert's Rebellion. We're finding out information about it, spoilers, spoiler alert, say that now, from season 7, where it wasn't cropped up to what it was supposed to be. Trying not to give too much away. But it was pretty much, this is why this happened. And then we found out, that ain't true. It's a whole different thing. Me personally, I would like to see that. One, you get young Robert when he was in his prime fighting. You get to see him really fight with his axe and all. Because in the show, he talks about it a lot, but he's an older man by this point. Then, two, you get to see Rhaegar. He's supposed to be a fierce warrior. I want to see that. I want to see more than a glimpse. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see the whole him and Lyanna thing. I want to see how that really went down. I want to see how he stole that thing away. Um, I would like to see young Ned, especially the Tower of Joy scene. That fight with the swordsman. We got a little glimpse of it, but he's supposed to be the best swordsman. The Dane, the House of Dane guy. Supposed to be the best. And Ned took him down. I want to see that whole fight. I want to see all of that. So stuff like that. Love to see it. But pretty much George R. R. Martin said no. Shut that down. It's no way that's going to happen. Period. Take all our hopes away from that. Not going forward. None of that. George R. R. Martin said no. He said he wants to finish his books, and in his books, everything will be thoroughly explained about Robert's Rebellion by the time he's done. Like, we got a lot of information so far, but the entire, pretty much, basis of it is going to be broken down by the time he's done. With Song of Ice and Fire. I'm like, okay, but that don't mean I don't want to see it, but, George don't play about his material, which I respect. I do respect. He want to, keep some semblance to it, that book stuff. This is the book stuff, because, TV is always different. I gotta give this TV show credit. They've done a pretty good job of adapting his book, making it something for TV, because, Books are always more detailed, sometimes drawn out in places where they don't need to be, sometimes giving you every detail you need that you want, that a TV show might skip over here and there. So I can understand it's a lot to deal with. So that was my probably number one. Well, me, my number two, but it was high up there. Like, if I would have got that instead of my number one, I'd have been okay with it. Wouldn't have had no issues. Would have just smiled and went on with the thing. Like, yeah, I'm good with that. My number one is probably, even though they haven't really discussed it, they they only discussed a part of it. I think it should all be together, but The Long Night. For those who don't know, The Long Night is where the White Walkers first went against everybody and started going crazy and started killing everything. And that's where the freemen and the children of the forest got together and said, hey, we got to stop these. And that's when you get the creation of the wall and Brand the Builder working with the children of the forest to build certain things. They built the wall, so on and so forth. And in there, you will find out how they stopped and what, like, so for what I'm gathering, only because I haven't read all of the books, I'm still going through it. But you know what I'm hearing and gathering, that there was some type of pact made. Like, we didn't necessarily, as far as like people, we didn't necessarily win, but we had Azor Ahai who fought them off. And that whole Azor Ahai story, that's pretty interesting, but I don't think that's enough for a TV show. I had somebody suggest it to me, and I'm like, that's not enough. It's only a small piece. It's actually part of a bigger story. But it was some type of pact formed, and the White Walkers said okay and went away. I guess maybe some type of magic type of thing. I'm not sure. I would like to find out how they stopped them, what Azor Ahai did, and what kind of pact was made, or how did they, if it wasn't a pact, how did they figure out how to get them to stop? Because it's not like we destroyed them all. They just went away, went home. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that would help us understand more of why they're attacking now. Because that was thousands of years from what Game of Thrones is set in now. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, what happened? I would love to see that, you know. And to me personally, I would like to take it a step back. Like, they don't have to explain every single detail, but I would like to see when the first people were fighting the children of the forest and how that was going down, because the story is they were fighting each other and men was banging out the children of the forest. They ain't have a chance. Like, they was getting slaughtered, and that's when they resorted to the dark magic and stuff and created the Night King, and you know what I'm saying, did the whole White Walker thing and so on and so forth. And that was supposed to be their weapon, children of the forest, the White Walkers, to knock back the men, and apparently it worked to where they stopped them, saved their people, put them in at bay, had them on the run. Like, oh, what's going on? But somewhere along the line, and I don't know the time frame. That's something else I'm trying to find in the books I'm searching for. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know how long that initial war was, and how long was it like chill before the White Walkers just said, bumping it. I ain't listening to nobody. We taking all y'all out. I want all this. So I want to see that because they gave us a glimpse when he was created, but I want to see after he was created, was he like some docile type of slave? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just went along with everything they said, or was he like? Because he seems like the Night King. Seems pretty smart and calculated on how he do certain things. Like, he don't talk, at least so far in the show. And I know in the books they do have their own type of weird little language. But in the TV show he doesn't talk. Neither does none of his little soldiers, the others. None of them talk. Only thing you hear is the regular White Walker drones or whatever you want to call them just screaming. That's all you ever hear. You don't hear no conversation. So, and like when they captured one, he just screamed and the whole group just squad up. We gotta go get our boy. Wasn't no talking. So I'm wondering how that whole thing went around. I'd like to hear comments and suggestions on that. I definitely like to start a discussion because I've seen, there's a lot of YouTubers, Jody's Corner, JVS, man, there's so many. The normies. I've seen so many people that I watch their reactions and so on and so forth when they get into discussions. Trust me, the list is long. There's a lot of y'all that I'm just like, yeah, I always wanted to be a part of the discussion, but it is what it is. Folks doing their own thing. But I like to get one started just to talk. Great area, Talking Thrones. I rock with them. I rock with them. I rock with them, man. I rock with them because they be putting out some good information from the books and from the shows. Just giving their own theories. I like the type of stuff. I like the type of stuff. Every now and then I see they have discussions with other people. I like that type of stuff. But I just want to know how that went down. Like once they turned him into the Night King, was he like the wheels was turning? All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna ride with them. Did they have to show him how to build his army? You know what I'm saying? How to make other White Walkers? How the whole crafting thing with the babies? Like, how did he figure that out? Did the children of the forest say, just do this and do that, and if you touch them and catch them while they babies, boom, they're yours for life? Or, you know what I'm saying? It's something he stumbled across. I'd like to know all of that. Like, give me some context on that along with the Long Night. I understand the Long Night is great, but I feel like that, you can have that as like I said, if you did a spinoff with the Long Night, that whole right before where they were first created, that could be your whole first season. And at the end of the season, you can see the turn. You feel me? Like where they's like, boom, nah, we ain't with y'all. They go away, however long the gap was, and then the season 2 could be the actual start of the Long Night. Get you an extra season. White Walkers are great in this show. They give it that extra oomph. You know what I'm saying? They give it that extra oomph. I feel like it. At least I do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that'd be tight. Another idea is the Blackfires Rebellion. That's dope. I think that's dope because giving you the whole dragon thing for those who love the dragon stuff. But I think that's kind of risky and where you may not see it because that type of production is CGI. HBO make millions, but if you do a Blackfire Rebellion, we talk about tons and tons of dragon and fire and flames and as epic as it would be, you what one season, maybe two, then it would die out because you don't want to give too much bang 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 bang. Then they get to a point where it's too predictable. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes Game of Thrones so great. You got subtle scenes where you building up characters, so on and so forth. And then they bow hit you with something, some type of battle or dramatic, and you're like, oh, shit, damn, what they gonna do? To where this one is, for those who don't know, one of the kings, one of the Aegon kings. I forgot which one it was. Excuse me for that. I think it's third or the fourth. He's on his deathbed, and what he decides to do as he's dying is, because a lot of kings always have bastards in those times. Always have bastards. He legitimizes all of his bastards. Like every single one of them. Like, all of them are legit my kids. Folks feeling some kind of way. Being bastards, they wasn't raised in that type of life, so on and so forth. They all start going to war and said, I deserve to be king. And we got dragon riders from all over the place. You got the Golden Company, which is interesting, was created from one of them bastards, which I think is interesting. A couple of them went to Essos. I know at least one of them went to Essos. Bravos. You know what I'm saying? So that would be interesting, but I don't know if I really want to see that. I'm just like, And the only other one that I'm remotely interested in, I think is kind of on the level of Blackfire Rebellion, as far as the production and the cost of it alone, would be the Fall of Valyria. You get a little context of the Valyrians and how they was carrying on, and they great city, and all this Valyrian everywhere, and so on and so forth. Maybe you can get some little threads of how Valeria was making its way around. So you can understand how some of these people in Game of Thrones got the little bit that there is, the little grayscale thing. You can find out more about those people because I think that's like that area is close to where all of that happened, where it's all burnt, destroyed, and all that. Part of that's supposed to be Valyria or the outskirts or something of that nature. You can maybe find out how they were made, even though I hear there's magic and sorcery involved. Maybe that had something to do with it. But again, we talking grand, epic castles, Valyrian steel everywhere, blah blah, dragons, the home of the people that had them, and yeah. So we talking tons of dragons. I think that would be dope. Me personally, some of the other stories that afloat with the Duncan egg. Eh, from what I'm understanding and what I've read a little bit, it's decent, but it's just like how can I put this? It's just like the tales of Podrick and Brienne, but a little bit more fighting and actual getting into shit. As to where it was basically Brienne doing some side stuff. The biggest fight she had while they were on their travels was the Hound, and that was solo, her and the Hound. Even though Aegon's going to become king at some point, but this is he's a squire to this dude, Sir Duncan. So I'm not interested in that. Even though George R. R. Martin said probably not, because he said he still got a lot of writing to do for that. He only did like 3 or 4 tales. And he said it's like I think he said it's either 8 or 10 tales to that he wants to write, and he only got like 3 or 4 done. So yeah, that's just I'm not interested in that. Some stuff I've seen online, Young Varys, some ideas people throwing out. I don't want to see him get castrated and then be a street beggar and a thief and work his way up. Yeah, that's some sad stuff. I don't want that. What else have I seen? The initial conquering of Westeros. That could be interesting. Get a little dragon action. You get Cuz coming through talking about that first King Aegon talking about some boom, I got dragons. Shut up. This is mine. I know my own little spin on it, but pretty much he going to war with them and dragons was a deciding factor. Not to mention he had a huge army or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? He fighting with better weapons than they were. He had that Valyrian, they had regular stuff and axes, and he had that Valyrian steel. So yeah, that's the better grade of material. I understand. But the dragons is the old key. I feel like that'd be a massacre, and you just watch him set up. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Some of the stuff in the books is very crazy, but it's tied together more. To where if you're doing a spinoff, you breaking a piece off pretty much. And I'm like, some stuff get interesting, but some don't. You can't have all action or you can't have all just chill, slow. You gotta have a nice mixture as a Game of Thrones has now. But me, Long Night, but I want the beginning of the White Walkers. Me personally, I don't think that's gonna happen. They probably just stick to just Long Night for what I'm understanding, what I've been reading. But I that's my number one. Robert Baratheon out. That would have been my number two. So I gotta say, the Fall of Valyria. I like to see that. I also would like to see. I guess the Blackfires would be third. Blackfires Rebellion. Yeah, because I want the action too. Because I was a fan of the show, loved every minute of it, but it turned to level 27 when I got Heart Home is when I really was like, I need a little more of that. Not a hell of a lot more, just a little more of that. Then they gave me some more in season 7, and I'm like, oh, paying me off to where I'm like, yeah. Like my man from Jody's Corner, buckets. He know what that mean, buckets. If he sees us, he know buckets. Buckets upon buckets. But yeah, so far I like the way it's going. I can't wait for season 8. But I'm really interested in what this spinoff can be. Leave your ideas, your thoughts. Give me some feedback. What do you want to see? You know, just me spitballing. All right. It's turn C, and I'm out.